Have you come across some professionals or people at your workplace who seem to have a flair for words? They seem to speak so well. And you think, wow, I wish I could speak like them. Well, do you think they are good at grammar? What do you think? Well, let me tell you that these people probably have very average grammar just like you. But they have something, or they have a stock of what I call as smart English phrases. So today, in today's lesson, I want to show you how you can sound very professional, how you can sound like you also have the right kind of words to say at the right time by learning how to speak smart English phrases at your workplace. So let's have a look at some smart English phrases. The first phrase is to call someone on the carpet. Okay, what do you think this phrase would possibly mean? Let's have a look. It basically means that you have been called by your boss or by the HR or someone up in the authority to correct you. There's another word for this. Take it down. The word is called reprimand. So when you do something wrong, what happens to you? Your boss tells you, hey, you should not have done this. Why did you do this? You have been called on the carpet. In other words, you have been reprimanded. Let's look at a sentence. Rima was called on the carpet for taking too many coffee breaks. While at work, you cannot take more than, I think, 2 coffee breaks. She probably took 5 or 4. So she was called on the carpet. She was reprimanded. One day, I was reprimanded by my boss for using my mobile at work. In the comments, please tell me, why did you get called on the carpet? Or use a sentence with this particular phrase, okay? Come on, do it right now. Okay, moving on to the next phrase. Can someone. How many of you have seen a can? Canned food, like canned tuna, canned chicken. Well, canning someone refers to firing someone from the job. Okay, so when someone's not doing a good job, unfortunately, you've got to let them go. So you fire them or you can them. So you can say something like, I am sure to get canned from work if I keep arriving late. Well, if you're someone who is doing the wrong thing over and over again, you could get canned. Okay? So, what is your sentence? Please put those in the comments below. I'm going to tell you if you are correctly saying them or not. Okay, our next smart English phrase at work is to get cracking. Now, I'll tell you where this particular phrase comes from. That way, you can probably guess what it is. Okay? So, let's say I'm cracking my knuckles. When do I crack my knuckles? Well, I hope you can hear it. But anyway, when do you crack your knuckles? When you're going to start work, right? When you're getting ready for work. So, therefore, to get cracking means to get started, to start working, to really go with all your energy and start something with all the enthusiasm. So, when you're talking to somebody and you're asking them to start work with all the energy that it requires, you can say something like, if you plan on finishing your assignment before you leave on vacation, you better get cracking. Okay, which means you better start working immediately. Our next phrase is to pound the pavement. Okay, let me tell you, the pavement is this side road, right? When you have the main road where the cars move or the vehicles move, and then you have the side road. Who lives on the pavement? Can you tell me? Who? The poor people, the people who are not privileged, right? So, in other words, if you pound the pavement, you are kind of unemployed, you are looking for unemployment. It shows that you are sitting on the pavement and waiting to get off the pavement, and therefore you are pounding the pavement. You are looking for work. You're not at a very good position. Okay? So you could say something like, after resigning, I've been pounding the pavement for 3 weeks and I still can't find a job. Unfortunately, during this pandemic, I know a lot of people who've been pounding the pavement. Can you use this in a sentence? If you can, please put that in the comments below. I want to really see how you can use all these smart English phrases. And we'll go to the next phrase, which is to work graveyard. When I was a child, I was very scared to go to a graveyard. What is a graveyard? It is a place where you bury the dead. And I was told that if you go there at night, it's very scary. So, graveyard kind of gives you this feeling that something's happening at the night time, right? It kind of relates to the night. And it's not something people love to go to, but unfortunately, some people have to work graveyard. In other words, they have to work late at night. Their night shifts typically are between 12 a.m., which is midnight, to 8 a.m. It could also be around 11 p.m. to say 7 a.m. It depends on the work policy. But some people have to work graveyard shifts, like doctors and nurses. So you could say, I prefer working graveyard because I can do errands early in the day. There are some people who love to work nights because they probably want to sleep in the morning. But I don't know. But I think there are some people who want to do the other work during the day. So they want to work graveyard or they want to work night shifts. So if you're working night shifts, don't say night shifts. Say I'm working graveyard. All right, then let's look at the next phrase, which is to bring someone up to speed. Now, this should help you guess what it means by simply looking at this word, speed. What are we talking about? Something very fast. So, what does it mean to bring someone, a person, up to speed? Let's take a look. It basically means that you are giving someone all the current information. Guess what? If you don't have the information, you are going to not make good progress. You're going to be very slow. If you have all the current information, you're going to be able to move faster in your work. So, when you want to give someone all the information that helps them work fast and work properly, it basically means that you are bringing them up to speed. In a sentence, you could say, I need to bring you up to speed on what happened in yesterday's meeting. So, yesterday's meeting is very important for you to make a decision. But if you don't have the information, you can't go fast enough. So, I want to bring you up to speed. How can you use this in a sentence? Have you brought someone up to speed? Let me know in the comments below. All right, call in sick. You know what? Sometimes we fall sick and we cannot come to work. And then there are some of you who pretend to be sick and you don't want to go to work. So what do? Call your boss. You pretend like you have a cold and you go like, boss, I can't come to work. Well, the next time you do that, I have an idea for you. Why don't you say, hey, I called in sick. I'm calling in sick because I have a fever. Don't say I'm unwell. Now you're going to say I'm calling in sick because I cannot make it. Okay, so basically, if you are calling work and informing them that you will not come because you are ill, that means you are calling in sick. So I can say, I don't feel well this morning. I think I'm going to call in sick. All right. Call it a day. Now, what does this expression mean? A day refers to one working day because we're talking about work phrases, right? So when I say a day, it is a day at work, all right? So when I call it a day, what does it mean? It means that my day is finished. Officially, I have finished my working hours, so I have stopped working for the day. In a sentence, I could say, I'm tired. I think I'm going to call it a day. See you tomorrow. Or I can say, hey, you need to call it a day. What are you doing at work? Which means go home, finish your work. All right, the next one is to cover for someone. Covering means to obviously close something. So, what does it mean to cover for someone? It means that you are taking up someone else's responsibilities because they are not present. Only temporarily, okay? So, some of you are really nice, and I know a lot of friends like that at my work. When I'm not there at work, for whatever reason, they do my work. They do a little bit of my job duties, my responsibilities, because they're really sweet. They're covering up for me, so I can say something like, I need to take my son to his dentist's appointment. Hey, Michelle, can you please cover for me while I'm gone? Please, can you please cover for me? Yeah, so you can ask people that as a nice request. And the next phrase is to have one's job on the line. And what does that mean? It basically means that you have your job in problem or your job is in jeopardy because you are not performing well. You've not been meeting your targets, you've not done a good job, and now you are very close to being called on the carpet and probably getting canned, like we learned before. So basically, you have your job on the line. In a sentence, you could say, my job is on the line. Why? Because the boss thinks I work too slowly, and if I don't improve, I'll be fired. What's the other phrase for fired? I'll be canned. All right? So these are some 10 smart phrases that you should use so that you also end up sounding like those professionals who end up having a flair for words, okay? So make sure you implement these phrases, and yes, make sure you put in your comments with a sentence for each of these phrases. I want to see those sentences, okay? So I will come back with some more lessons. I will show you some more ways to speak in a more smart and professional way. Until then, this is me saying subscribe to our channel, like our videos, and keep learning. This is Ceema saying have a nice day. Bye.